Welcome to Fresh Talk News Channel. Today, we bring you a significant update on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the latest diplomatic efforts to establish a ceasefire. A high-level meeting between Russian and U.S. officials on a potential partial ceasefire in Ukraine has concluded after 12 hours of negotiations in Saudi Arabia. According to Russian state media, a joint statement is expected to be released on Tuesday, outlining the key outcomes of these discussions, with Ukrainian negotiators waiting nearby, just a day after their direct discussions with the U.S. delegation. American and Russian officials met in Riyadh to focus on a Black Sea ceasefire as a top priority. Former President Donald Trump is reportedly pushing for a rapid resolution to the 3-year-long war. His administration hopes that this latest round of talks will pave the way for a significant diplomatic breakthrough. Meanwhile, as negotiations continued in the luxurious setting of a Saudi Arabian hotel, devastating events unfolded in Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky reported that nearly 90 people, including 17 children, were injured in a missile strike on the city of Sumy in northeastern Ukraine. The attack targeted a densely populated residential area, damaging multiple apartment buildings and an educational facility. The regional prosecutor's office confirmed the extent of the destruction, while Sumy's acting mayor stated that even a hospital had sustained damage. Despite these challenges, diplomatic progress appears to be underway. A source in Kyiv informed AFP that the Ukrainian negotiating team was expecting a second meeting with U.S. officials on Monday, an indication that some headway may have been made. Russia's state-run TASS news agency cited an inside source confirming that the U.S.-Russia meeting lasted over 12 hours, with a joint statement to be issued the following day. Trump's proposal and the Black Sea Initiative. Earlier this month, during a previous round of discussions in Jeddah, Kyiv had initially agreed to a U.S. proposed 30-day ceasefire. However, Russian President Vladimir Putin ultimately rejected the proposal. Now, both sides are reconsidering the potential revival of the Black Sea Initiative, an agreement that had facilitated the export of millions of tons of Ukrainian grain and other food products. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed that the Black Sea Initiative was a focal point of discussions. The issue of the Black Sea Initiative and all aspects related to its renewal are on today's agenda, Peskov stated in his daily briefing. This was President Trump's proposal, and President Putin agreed to it. Our delegation traveled to Riyadh with this mandate. Originally, the U.S.-Ukraine and U.S.-Russia negotiations were planned to occur simultaneously to allow for shuttle diplomacy. However, the format changed, with the discussions now taking place sequentially. Ukraine's defense minister, Rustem Umerov, who leads the Ukrainian delegation, described Sunday's talks with the U.S. as productive and focused. Ceasefire hopes and skepticism. Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, has expressed optimism about the potential for a broader ceasefire agreement. Speaking with Fox News, Witkoff stated, "I think you're going to see real progress in Saudi Arabia on Monday, particularly regarding a Black Sea ceasefire for ships between both countries. From there, we could naturally transition into a full-on shooting ceasefire." Despite this optimism, the Kremlin remains cautious. "We are only at the beginning of this process," Peskov warned during a Sunday interview on Russian state television. "There are difficult negotiations ahead." During a recent phone call, Putin rejected the U.S.-Ukrainian proposal for an immediate 30-day ceasefire but instead suggested a halt in attacks on energy infrastructure. This counteroffer is currently being evaluated as negotiations continue. Broader implications and global reactions. Discussions are also underway regarding the broader implications of a renewed Black Sea Initiative. Originally brokered by Turkey and the United Nations in 2022, the agreement had enabled Ukraine to export grain and other commodities. However, Russia withdrew from the deal in 2023, citing unmet commitments from the West regarding sanctions relief on Russian agricultural exports. According to a senior Ukrainian official, Kyiv intends to push for a more comprehensive ceasefire that would cover attacks on energy infrastructure, transportation networks, and naval targets. Meanwhile, tensions on the ground remain high. Just before the Sumy missile strike, both Russia and Ukraine launched fresh drone attacks. Additionally, Ukraine's national railway operator reported that it was combating a sophisticated cyber attack for the second consecutive day. The diplomatic landscape has also shifted in response to recent US-Russia talks. Moscow enters these negotiations with renewed confidence, following what it perceives as an improved relationship with Washington under Trump's leadership. Kremlin spokesman Peskov emphasized the importance of ongoing dialogue, stating, "The potential for mutually beneficial cooperation between our countries cannot be overstated. While we have our disagreements, it does not mean we should deny ourselves the benefits of collaboration." The role of European allies. In parallel to these developments, British and French defense leaders convened in London to discuss contingency plans for safeguarding any ceasefire agreement. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has been advocating for what he calls a coalition of the willing, which could see British and French troops deployed to Ukraine to help enforce the terms of a peace agreement. While details of this initiative remain unclear, Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron have both expressed their readiness to commit forces if a deal is reached. "If there is a ceasefire agreement, it must be upheld," Starmer's spokesperson stated, reinforcing the UK's commitment to ensuring stability in the region. As negotiations continue, the world watches closely, hoping that these talks may finally bring an end to the devastating war that has reshaped global geopolitics. Thanks for watching Fresh Talk News channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more news and updates.